mess around. Here's the iris. Gonna increase the iris a little. There we go. Iris has been increased slightly, so we should have a little brighter picture. So, Richard, you're saying don't do it. Don't stream at 60. I should stream at 30? Is that what you're saying? Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to keep it at 30 frames. 640 by 360. We'll leave it there. Probably do 25. All right. Let's see if we can go down to 25. Okay, I'm back. What I did was I dropped the bitrate back down to 300 from 600 to 300. We're now streaming at 25 frames per second at 640 by 360. And it says we're at 92%. So I'm assuming that's kind of that 92% number there is kind of a general quality number. So we had been as high as 108%, and now we're down to 92%. But it looks okay in my opinion. I mean, I can see the clouds. I can see, you know. Let's look at the clouds here. Now I can mess with the iris. I can mess with shutter as well. Yeah, I'm not sure where the white balance button is on this camera. Yeah, for live streaming, I don't think we're going to get much better than that, Richard. To be able to see the texture of the leaves on a live stream. Sure beats 2007 when we started this. Remember how pixelated everything was? And, I was just happy to have a live stream, even if it only worked about 30% of the time and looked pixelated as crap. It was so exciting. I had like 5 viewers. It was just so amazing to be driving down the road at highway speed and being able to broadcast back live images via the internet and not some extremely expensive, satellite flyaway unit that would have been $30,000. This whole live streaming thing for, travel and weather has really, revolutionized, our ability to be able to see things, as they happen, and just for the average person to experience, storm chasing, as we experience it. It's pretty cool. And, where it's come from and just since 2007 is just amazing. And now we are examining the possibility of live streaming with the 360 cameras. We're going to be on the cutting edge of live streaming with those 360 cameras here in the next year. And when that happens, folks, where you're able to be interactive with the live streaming camera that's on the roof of the vehicle, and you're able to control the what you're looking at as I'm driving, I mean, you're literally going to, in that instance, when that happens, and it will happen, it already is happening. We do have live streaming with 360 cameras available on a particular application. But it's going to be much more widespread here within the next year or two. And when that happens, you're literally going to have the ability to see more than the storm chasers themselves that are in the vehicle are seeing. All right, thanks, Richard. I don't see any reason for us to get together today, so I really appreciate your help. All right, folks, we're going to drive around a little bit more here, kind of see how the quality looks as we go mobile. Looks like I could afford to be a little brighter on my iris. So I'm just going to bump it up one more notch there, and we're going to see how that looks. All right, next stop is Mirror Lake. And again, Southern Weather, or Perry probably has a different name for this particular lake here in the Mirror Lake subdivision. Because I do recall you saying that, and you said you fished for catfish there as a kid. Love catfish. Yeah, that, Now, I think this is due to the frames per second thing, but the stream looks a little herky-jerky. I might bump it up from 25 up to 30. See if that helps any. But it's not bad. I mean, I'm not looking at a serious issue here with quality. It just doesn't seem to be as smooth. Stockmar Lake. All right, yes, Stockmar Lake. Near the Stockmar residence. In fact, I'll pull into the Gold Mine Museum and show you guys the ruins of the old Stockmar homestead that burned back in the 1970s. Beautiful, probably just a beautiful home in its time, made out of stone up on a hill. And now the ruins of that building are still there. Yeah, a little blocky. Darren, I agree, but not terrible. I think I'll bump it up again to 30 and see what happens when we stop here at Mirror Lake. I'll kill the stream briefly and bump it up to 30, and we'll see what happens at that point. All right, now in the past there's been a dead zone here at the lake. So the last time I was through here, though, it held pretty well, the stream did. So I'm hoping it holds again. If not, I'll head on up to the Gold Mine Museum, and I know that for a fact I can stream out of there. So if you lose the stream, I'll be back, but hopefully we won't. It's amazing how much this has changed just in the past 15 years, Perry. We came down here, my oldest daughter, when she was in, I think, second or third grade, did a report on Villa Rica, City of Gold, and we had to find the old gold mine, or gold mines in the area. And this was all just grown up with kudzu and vines and just everything. We found the gold mine, but man, it was in pretty poor shape. You know, it hadn't been attended to in years, and now they've turned it into the Gold Mine Museum, and this has all been just, redone, looking nice and beautiful. Yeah, we had the dead zone there at the lake, so I've continued on that little road. Now we're approaching the Gold Mine Museum. I'll pull into the museum here in just a second and try to get a stream of the ruins, and that's when I'll turn the stream off briefly and do a little adjusting. And then we'll hit the road again. just a little bit. I'll take you guys down what I call the scenic route. It's down kind of back behind the airport. There's a road. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Sunset Ranch, Perry, but we're going to go take the road that the Sunset Ranch is on. So here's the Gold Mine Museum. They have a little railroad now that goes around it. You can take a little tour and ride around the neighborhood or around the property here. They've got a petting zoo up here to the right of the windmill. There's a petting zoo, and they've got some animals in there. I'm going to pull in here, see if I can kind of get a shot of the ruins in through there. Hold on. A little dark. Definitely going to bump up the iris here, so you can kind of see what's going on in there. So you can see the stone ruins back in there. That's you can see the archway to the house, front door, front of the house. There's the archway, and it's kind of neat. You go walk around up in there and kind of explore. It's pretty cool. But that's the old Stockmar residence, and it burned down it was built, I think, in the early 1900s and burned to the ground in the early 1970s. And I'm sure that was quite a big story. Probably some pictures and video of the fire. I'm sure it was quite dramatic. But it's a great location to get photos now for prom and graduation. You have a lot of professional photographers go up there, and they have their subjects kind of sit there in amongst the ruins and with all the trees and stuff around it. It makes for a really pretty backdrop for some professional photography. So if you're needing any professional photographs taken, this would be a great location to have that done. Another really great location for professional photographs, if you're looking for a really pretty setting, is the old mill up at, is it Berry College? Yeah, Berry College near Rome. There's this mill that I got some photos of back in the fall season a couple of years ago. That is a beautiful location to have some photos taken as well, family photos and such. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the beauty of this camera. I'm able to just quickly and easily adjust. If people say that, something looks dark or light, I can easily adjust that. So, folks, whenever you see, issues with the stream, just let me know, and chances are I'll be able to fix a lot of it on my end, because this is a very user-friendly camera, and it's old analog technology, so it's easy to work, and it works really well. You try to adjust things on some of these new digital and HD cameras and stuff, and it can be difficult, and sometimes it doesn't work that well. But man, you can't beat the easy use of these old cameras. That's for darn sure. And they're effective. That low lux setting on this camera is just phenomenal. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have seen a lot of the really cool stuff we've seen in the past. I mean, I think I look back at some of the tornadoes we've streamed at night and some of the cloud features and lightning that we've streamed during the night, and none of that would have been seen if we hadn't had this camera. So, and then Les, got me that second backup, and so I'm using his camera, the new one now, and the old camera's the backup. So we're set with quality streaming here with this camera for quite some time. Now, ultimately and eventually, I may, upgrade to HD or whatever if it looks like, once live streaming technology gets to be to the point where, okay, yeah, obviously, streaming on HD is so much better in quality. But right now, I don't see that. I don't see HD cameras, really surpassing the quality of this camera that much right now, unless you've got a $10,000 HD camera. So I'm going to just keep streaming the way I stream until further notice. And yeah, anal logs. Yeah, I haven't even looked at the live chaser map yet, folks. Let me go actually look at my webpage, since Richard did all this work. Folks, you can see the location map at the bottom now of the webpage. If you haven't refreshed stormscapelive.tv, do that now. Richard did make a change. He added a map which shows my location to the bottom below the video and chat. So let me go check that out. Awesome, Richard. I love it. Very nice. It's great to have a map with a radar overlay. That is fantastic. Back to the old time. You know, this whole streaming thing, you know, as much as I know a lot of people were upset that TVN went away and all of that, you know, that's business. You know, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. And oftentimes when a monopoly, and they were kind of a monopoly in this, you know, weather streaming business, goes belly up and goes, you know, ceases to exist, then that gives other, you know, places an opportunity to, you know, rise up, and also other, you know, technologies to be used, and it allows people more freedom. Like, we're able to do things now, again, like kind of we did at the beginning of, you know, several years ago, and that's pretty cool. You know, we were kind of restricted, and now we're not, and it makes for a better experience, I think. Alright, I'm going to shut the stream off a little bit here briefly. I'm going to change the frame rate, and I'm also going to adjust the bit rate again. Again, the picture looks a little too soft for my liking. So I'm going to adjust a couple of things, and I'll be right back, I promise. I promise you I will not leave you. Oh, before I go, let me answer Tony's question. Tony, I think it's going to be pretty good. We're going to be out there starting Saturday and chasing Saturday through next Wednesday. So a good 5 days of chasing coming up here real soon, day after tomorrow. So you're going to want to tune in, and I'll, of course, let everybody know. Definitely a pretty good setup for supercells, fairly slow moving, and the potential for some tornadoes as well. So... and we're hoping to get out there and catch one more really good event for the season. And then I've got some family obligations, and I've planning a pretty long trip out west with Caroline this summer. So this could end up being my last, organized chase of the season. And I'd kind of planned on taking this year off anyway. And so that's why we've had limited streaming. And, but I'm thankful to be able to get out a couple of times this year and see some really nice stuff. And this might be the last one. There might be one other opportunity later on, but I'm really putting most of my emphasis and focus on next year, when we're going to be doing a lot of storm chasing tours from April all the way through July, and then beyond that we're going to be doing, and even starting this year, we're hoping to be doing a Northern Lights and Northern Canadian Rockies fall foliage tour in September this year. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me at Stormscape Live, or I should say stormvideoman@yahoo.com. But then we're going to really be going gung-ho with the tours next year: monsoon tours, severe storm tours, hurricane tours, fall foliage, Northern Lights, winter storm tours, any extreme weather that you're interested in witnessing, lake effect snow tours, all of that we'll be doing next year. We're going to be the all-encompassing, all-season extreme weather tour company, which nobody else is really doing all seasons like we'll do it next year. So I don't have anything to lose, so I'm going to just go, pretty much balls to the wall next year with tours and chasing. So this year is kind of a year of rest and a year of preparation. Next year, it's going to be wild and crazy. Let me tell you. All right, let me go ahead and do a little adjusting, and I'll be right back with everybody. Well, no, DJ, the fall foliage and the Northern Lights tour, we're hoping to start this September. That'll be the one tour. That'll be the beginning of next year's tour mania. We'll actually begin this year in September with the fall foliage and Northern Lights tour in Canada. That'll be based out of Calgary, Canada, and we'll drive up into the Yukon Territory and up into the Banff and Jasper National Park and get some incredible photography in, as well as Northern Lights. Man, it's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait. And it's going to be a small tour, not a huge one, so 4 or 5 people at most. My good friend Shannon Prentice is going to be helping out with that. We're going to be kind of doing it together, and we're going to get together here real soon. She's incredibly pregnant right now, and once she gets past that here within the next month, we're going to get together and hash some things out and have a lot more information regarding the Northern Lights, Northern Rockies photography tour coming up in September. So, yeah, let me kill the stream real quick and fix some things, and then I'll be right back. We're back up to 30 frames, and I bumped it way up, Barbara. I went above 360. I went all the way back up to 500 on the bit rate, and we'll see what happens with the quality. Again, what I'll do is I'll probably generally stream around 300 on the bit rate, and then if I'm in a really beautiful situation where I want the highest quality, then I'll bump it way up if I can. Again, out there with the cell situation as it is in the Tornado Alley, I may not be able to effectively do that, but that's kind of the plan, is I'll be adjusting things as we go along. So let me know if that improved the quality at all and got rid of some of the fuzziness to the screen and picture. We're up around 97 right now on the upload rate. That's incredibly high. That's too much. That just eats up too much bandwidth. So, but it does affect the quality. It makes it better. So we do know that much for sure. So I will be bumping quality up when necessary. But just for general streaming purposes, real high quality, sharp, crisp videos, not that necessary. The main thing that the viewer wants, and I've discovered over the nearly 10 years of doing this, pecker on that tree. Let's zoom in on him. Where is it? Where's the tree? Where's my woodpecker? There he is. Yeah, you want to be able to interact and have somebody who actually interacts with you and is interested in you. So, yeah, the woodpecker was there for a second, but he's gone now. They're very elusive, those woodpeckers. Those little peckers are very elusive. Ooh, there he is. I got him again. He's on the edge of that tree there. I'm going to see if I can get his head. We're on a woodpecker hunt today. Woodpecker chase. 2016. All right, Shannon, we were just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning. We were talking about our Northern Lights Canadian Rockies tour that we're planning in the first 2 weeks of September. I was telling folks that once you got past the incredibly pregnant stage you're in now, we were going to be getting more details gathered up for that. So, really looking forward to that this year. That's going to be a lot of fun. Well, Perry, my offer still stands. If you're interested, I'll get the guys out to make the modifications necessary for to make things a little more comfortable for you and safer at the house. That's no big deal. That can be done in a 1 week period. So you just say the word. I don't know how things are going with your other options, but you have that standing invitation to live at my house. Lord knows I've got enough room now, and when Caroline leaves in August 6th to be exact, man, I'll be all alone in that big old, 2,500 square foot house. So, you're not going to be on the street, that's for sure. Scott Nicholson out of Omaha. The name sounds familiar. I have never met him, I don't think. I don't really know of him. That name just kind of for some reason just strikes me as being familiar. But no, I don't really know a Scott. To be honest with you, I don't know a lot of the newer chasers. And by newer, I'm talking ones that have started chasing within the last 15 years. I know a lot of the older chasers, Bobby Prentice and Tim Marshall and Doswell and Gene Roden and all those, and Fadley. Those are the ones that I started chasing with back in the day, and when I started chasing, they were the ones that were out there. Now, these new influx of chasers that have come in since I've started working full time, and that was basically, mid 1990s. all the ones from basically the Twister era on, I'm not real familiar with, because I have not been. I've been only out in the plains on a very part-time, limited basis since 1996. That's when I got on at the Weather Channel, and that kind of really cut into my time to go out there and really know these people. So I'm not one of those people that's really up on all of the new chasers. Yeah, and here's the thing, Perry, too, is next year when I do the tours, I mean, we have, dogs and cats, and Caroline is all scared and worried that I'm going to let the animals die and that I'm going to have to get rid of the animals. And, it would be nice to have somebody living in the house while I'm gone and, just kind of, watching the pets and animals so I don't have to board them out or take them to my sister's house or whatever. So it would just be nice to have, a roommate, a house person there, living, helping with the expenses and whatnot, and then helping with, while I'm gone, taking care of the animals and stuff. So I need to get somebody in there between now and next year for sure. So I'd love to be able to help, you out, because I know you're in such a bind. I think it would be a win-win situation for both of us. That's why, I think this is such a good deal. But, if you've got other options and they're better, that's fine. But I mean, I've pretty much got everything you need there at the house. But, if you need somebody to be around to take you places, I mean, that might be an issue next year, because I'll be, gone for many, many weeks. But hey, Thomas, I see you. You got that small font, so you kind of got lost in amongst all the bigger sized font people. How's it going, Tom? Thomas, by the way, and Caroline actually crawled through one of the mine shafts here at the Gold Mine Museum. Very dangerous. There could have been a rattlesnake in there, black widow spiders, water moccasins. The place could have collapsed. But, of course, being my children, they had to do it. I would have done the same thing at their age. In fact, I did do crap like that. So, Thomas, you probably recognize the ruins here. We're just kind of hanging out, testing the live stream. I'm going to be heading out for a few days. Caroline has given me permission to go chasing for a little while, so I'm going to head on out to the plains. Be back next Thursday when you get into town. So, probably arriving about the time you do. But I'll be heading out on tomorrow morning, actually. So kind of keep in contact with Caroline if you can, and make sure everything's good with her, and call me if there's ever any issues. Minnesota, I have been known to go up to Minnesota. Back in what year was that? 2011 or 12. You had the big outbreak up there, the Albert Lee tornado, and the one north there that unfortunately, I witnessed some fatalities, a fatality up there in that town, north of Albert Lee. But yeah, I get up there every now and then if it looks like a big outbreak. It's not one of the states that's on my regular rotation in terms of the tours, but if it looks like there's going to be extreme weather up that way, we will chase in Minnesota. So yeah, it'd be nice to see you. Yeah, 2010. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It'd be nice to see you up there and meet you. That's what I'm going to try to do, folks. I'm going to try to meet a lot of my friends that they're on the live stream and Facebook this year and next, and just take the time to meet and just say hi and everything, because and this whole live streaming thing, I mean, it is, we feel like we're friends and really close, but really we're not. And I'd like for a lot of you folks to be more than just streaming friends. I mean, I feel like I'm friends with all of you, and it'd be great to be able to meet up with every last one of you if I could, and get to know you and say hi and everything, sit down for dinner or something. But I know that's not possible, but I'd like to be able to do more of that in the future. Rochester, all right. Yep. Let's check on those storms that are approaching Aaron. Oh my, wow. Let's look back to our radar here. There's that big storm that's headed basically for Aaron's place. He's down here. So they've got a severe thunderstorm watch out here in South Texas ahead of this line. Still seeing inch and 3/4 size hail being indicated with this. This radar program, folks, is GR level 3. It's an older version. Richard told me they're going to phase this version out in I think June 15th. So I'm going to be buying a new GR level 3. I think it's like $80 one-time purchase price for that. And we'll be having some new upgraded information on GR level 3, but this is the radar program that most chasers use. It's really nice. It'll box the warnings, like here's a severe thunderstorm warning. You click on it and it'll kind of give you the details. LaSalle County, severe storm located 8 miles southwest of Cotulla, moving northeast at 40. So yeah, pretty nice little program. And then here's the animation of it. Certainly doesn't look like it's moving northeast. Looks like it's moving east-southeast to me. So I think this storm here in particular, and possibly some trailing ones back here that may develop, could threaten Aaron down here in Corpus Christi. Probably here in a couple hours, a few hours. So sure he'll be having fun with that at work. Hey Matt. One of these days I'm gonna stop by and pick up those wipers. Remind me again where you're at. Are you up in Nebraska, wasn't it, or somewhere up there? Or was it Montana? I remember north with Matt. Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska. Man, we do a lot of chasing up there. Things have changed with the climate, with global climate change. The severe belts have shifted north. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time down along the I-40 corridor through Texas and Oklahoma. And now I spend a lot more time chasing up, along and north of I-70 and even north of I-80. And used to rarely get up that way chasing back in my early days, and now I spend more time up there. So things are a-changing. All right, Phil, great. Thank you for that information. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to work there. I'll have Richard look into that. He's my guy to get me up and set up on those type of things. So we'll get that version 2.5 going. Matt is going to be picking. He's heading to Wichita tomorrow. We're not riding together. He's actually chasing with his wife Betsy for the first time in several years. So she's going to be doing a lot of the driving and stuff. So he's chasing kind of on his own with Betsy, and they're going to be staying at the Storm Chaser Bed and Breakfast there in Wichita. And Matt will be there as well, and Don will be there eventually, probably arriving on Saturday or Sunday, and then I'll be arriving with several people tomorrow or Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be a full house there, but we're looking forward to it, and Matt will be able to get his beer and be a happy camper. Poor Betsy. Well, that's kind of the reason Betsy hasn't chased with Matt in a while is, just the, Matt is an interesting character. He is so focused and so wrapped up in these storms and everything that, everything else is kind of secondary. So, he's an acquired taste, even for his wife. But he is a great guy, an amazing forecaster, and we chase well together. When it's just me and him, it's awesome. It seems that he goes a little bit more over the top when it's people other than just me in the car. Because him and I have been chasing for over 20 years together, so we've got a really good chase rapport, and we each have our own quirkiness, things about us, and bits of our personality. We're an old married couple. We do well together chasing, just the two of us. When you throw a few more people into the mix, both of our personalities tend to enhance and clash with not only the other people, but with each other more, and it becomes a little bit more interesting. So I'll tell you what, it makes for an interesting live stream, doesn't it? If you're into watching my live stream, not only for the weather content, but for the entertainment content, sometimes you just never know what's going to happen. You get these interesting characters. Storm Chasers are very, very interesting characters. Every chaser that steps foot in this car is a character, and you get to see that in the live stream. And that's kind of what's neat about, doing the extensive live streaming that I do, is the fact that you get to really know these people. Whereas if I just turned the live stream on when there was a storm going on, all you would know is, oh yeah, look at that, that's great, blah blah blah. You wouldn't really get to know the person, but you get to know me, you get to know the chase partners when the live stream is on through the whole day. You get to hear all the little arguments, all the discussions, and you get to see that storm chasing is a lot more interesting than it might appear. I mean, that is part of what I love about chasing, is just the interaction with the different characters within the chasing community. And there are characters, and the whole thing with Kevin Martin and all that stuff, I'm not saying that I, endorse what he does or his silliness, but he's just another character, folks. And the beauty of the storm chasing community is we are just this eclectic group of characters, and everybody has some kind of purpose within the community, either the purpose to piss other people off, or the purpose to educate, or the purpose to be the the clown or whatever. Everybody has some little purpose, and that's what makes up life. People take things way too serious. They take themselves too seriously. They take other people way too serious. We're all just on this planet existing and trying to make the best of it. And, why not have fun with it and not take things so serious and people so serious? Just, there's a lot of characters out there, and some of them are kind of crazy. And that's just the way life is. It would be a boring world if everybody was sane and working 9 to 5. Thank God we have a few crazy characters out there to keep things spiced up. Anyway, more words of wisdom from Mr. Phelps. I'm waxing with words of wisdom today and reflectiveness. You've caught me on an interesting day here where I'm opening up about life. I haven't done that in a while. I've been so depressed and bummed about crap. I haven't really talked about life too much. But really, life is pretty cool because it's so short. And, make the best of it. That's all you can do. Oh, yeah, those are a couple of characters. Love those guys. I don't have a problem with anybody in the community. Even the people that have hated on me in the past and done stuff. You know what? Big deal. I know I'm a piece of shit sometimes, and I deserve a lot of the hate that I get. But you know what? That's the way it is. We're all like that. Nobody's perfect. And it gets to be annoying sometimes when they just get in their little secret groups and rag on you. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way it is. So again, I don't stress too much about stuff like that. And here's the thing about chasers. We poke fun at each other all the time. That's kind of a neat thing about chasers. We love each other. We're there for each other when things get really, really bad. But we also love to poke fun at each other. And most of us have pretty good kind of weird senses of humor. And a lot of the stuff we do and say is really all for show and just goofing off and giving the other person the business. And but we really do like each other. When we're out there and we're seeing the storms, we're all just so elated and happy. And so a lot of the stuff you see posted on Facebook and social media is just really us kind of poking fun at each other and being silly and goofy and trying to, make somebody laugh and again, not take life too serious and just, have fun with life. And, that's the way a lot of chasers are. We're kind of we live on adrenaline. We're kind of dangerous characters as it is. We'd probably be, if we were living in the 1800s, we'd be cowboys out in the Wild West doing our thing, robbing banks and whatnot. But, here we are. We're like these modern day outlaws here, roaming the plains, high plains drifters looking for supercells. So, it's really kind of neat. And absolutely, it is never boring. Every group has its characters. If you were a skydiver and you visited skydiving forums and pages about sky, you'd have all these crazy characters. If you're a biker, you belong to one of that group, there's all kinds of weird and interesting characters in that group. There are all these groups, and they're all very eclectic and interesting and different. And there's nothing special about the Storm Chaser group. It's not that we're any more crazy or wild or weird than any other group out there. It's it's just it's the group that you guys pay the most attention to, because that's what you're most interested in is weather. So if you were interested in a lot of other different things, and if you look at these gaming groups, these people who are gamers, and I'm sure there are a lot of you on here that are, you know what I'm talking about. There's some really wild and crazy characters in the gaming community. So there's nothing any different, even though some of this drama, as it's called, everybody pins, the chasing community is full of such drama. Well, all communities are. Life is full of drama. Hell, if there wasn't drama in life, can you imagine how frickin' boring it would be? Thank God for drama. Bring on the drama, I say. It makes life worth living. Skydiving naked. Oh my gosh. That's interesting. Yeah, right, DJ. You're right. The only place you're going to get live instant radar is in a National Weather Service office. All products are disseminated from the Weather Service to the public, and there is a delay. So what you're looking at on the radar, even though it may be an instant refresh, oh, the image just refreshed, it's brand new. Nope, even that image is still a minute or two old. And so you're looking at anywhere from a minute or two up to 10 minutes old on any image you're ever looking at on a radar screen, unless you're sitting in a National Weather Service office. So you always have to factor that in. As a storm chaser, we do what is called extrapolation. All right, the image is showing the storm is right here, even though, especially the fast-moving ones like El Reno, it was moving 60 miles an hour at its top speed. You have to factor that in. All right, I'm looking at an image that's at least 2 or 3 minutes old, and a storm is moving 60 miles an hour. It's not going to be where it's showing up on radar. If my icon is right here, and I feel like I'm safe, in reality I'm not, because the storm is really a lot closer than it appears. Objects in your rear view mirror are much closer than they appear. Well, objects on your radar are much closer than they appear in many instances. So you've got to factor that in, folks, when you're chasing and you're out here. You know, I've always got my location superimposed on the radar. We're the circle with the dot, and that's great. That's a great tool to have, but you also have to know that the image you're looking at is different and changed. It's farther down the line than what it looks like on radar. What's the crack, Thomas? Oh, I don't know. I get asked all the time about free apps and everything. I usually pay for all my stuff, so... And again, I have Richard set me up with a lot of this really cool stuff, so I don't know. I mean, there's probably people on the chat who can answer that question better than me in terms of free stuff. So, yeah. I'm sure there's some really good... And I used to use Weather Underground and sites like that a lot. I know they had Intellicast, I remember, had a decent radar, and it was kind of interactive. You could zoom in and change things on that. So I think probably Intellicast probably still has their really neat radar. Alright, folks, we're going to get to moving again here. I've sat around here long enough. I need to kind of make my way home and do some stuff, so we'll continue to stream for a few more minutes, but most likely I'll be shutting her down here pretty soon. Let me change the iris here again, get us back down to a more decent level on the iris. Alright, what I'm interested in you guys telling me here when I start moving is, since I move the frame rate back up to 30, if that improved the blockiness, as Darren called it, to the live stream, or herky-jerky motion. It's most noticeable when we're moving down the roads, so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to move down the road. Oh, I want to get a shot of our little donkey. We come here pretty much every day and come and pet the animals at the petting zoo. And this guy here, we've kind of named him Charlie, and he's a really cool guy. And the other guy is Marvelous. We've named him Marvelous. So there's Charlie the donkey and Marvelous the horse. Those are our buddies, and they're very cute and quite vocal. Charlie can be quite vocal with his honking. So just thought I'd show everybody Charlie and Marvelous. Ooh, the iris still looks way too bright. Bringing her down, folks. Bringing her down. There we go. That's better. See the lines in the parking lot now. Maybe a little more. There we go. All right. Let's get out of here. Oh, I was going to take you guys down the scenic route back behind the airport. So, hold on here. Yeah, that looks smoother at 30 frames per second, I must say. I'm kind of looking at the stream here, and I'm not seeing that herky-jerky motion. So I think we're going to keep it at 30 instead of 25. Thomas, next year looks great. I think it's going to be an active La Nina severe weather season. La Nina is typical for quite big outbreaks in the plains. We haven't had any major outbreaks this year, and that's pretty typical of this type of pattern where you're going from El Nino to La Nina. But once La Nina is well established later on this summer, and especially through the winter and into next spring, we should get back to major outbreak type of systems where you have, you know, every couple of weeks potential for a severe weather and tornado outbreak, large ones. So next year, in my opinion, at least at this early junction, looks like it could be pretty good if we can kind of continue to hold on to the La Nina pattern that is developing quickly. And oftentimes you go from really strong El Ninos to really strong La Ninas, which is like the opposite of El Nino. And the stronger the La Ninas, sometimes the more dramatic the weather can be. Alright, so we're heading down what I call the scenic route here. Hopefully you won't lose the stream. It looks a little iffy on the upload rate. Be heading down by the Sunset Ranch in behind the airport. Right now we are literally right behind the airport. It's off to the left. And the Sunset Ranch is going to be off to the right. So this is the Sunset Ranch off to the right here. They have weddings and other events here, and you can do horseback riding and some other things. Kind of discovered this place kind of by accident a few years ago. We were over there at the park, and this older couple pulled into the park saying that they were looking for the Sunset Ranch because there was a wedding there and they needed to get to the wedding. And so we did a little research for them on the internet real quick, and we found this place and drove them over here. And I like taking this road. It's real quiet. You know, there's a lot of, you know, you see the ranch here, and it's just this nice little quiet rural area of the county here that I really kind of enjoy the drive. So here's a couple of the horses. And then over here on the left is kind of another little petting zoo type of a place. We've got donkeys and horses and pigs and stuff in here. But I don't see any of them now. There's the donkey. It's getting kind of dark. Thomas, at least a chance. Again, Mother Nature's not just going to magically produce tornadoes because you flew 2,000 miles across the ocean to chase America. It's going to have, the atmosphere is going to do what it's going to do when you're out for that 3-week period, regardless of how much you would love for it to produce tornadoes. It's going to do what it's going to do, and if you come out and it's a bad pattern, there's nothing you can do about that, and we'll end up shooting national parks and bison and geysers and mountains and other really cool stuff instead of tornadoes. But if everything works out and nature cooperates and the atmosphere cooperates, we'll be shooting supercells, tornadoes, and shelf clouds and having a good old time every day just shooting weather. But I'll tell you what, in the over 30 years that I've done this, and the stream is dead, so I'm not going to say. Yes, I agree, Perry. It's going to be the longest tornado outbreak in the history of tornado outbreaks. It's going to last for exactly the 3 weeks that Thomas is going to be out, the last week of April and the first 2 weeks of May. Mark your calendar, folks. There'll be 5,000 tornadoes across the plains of America and even into Dixie Alley during that 3-week period. Massive outbreak. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, we're just kidding around, Thomas. There is a chance, Again, if we're in a La Nina pattern and everything, works out, the odds are better next year of outbreaks than they are this year. That's all you can say at this point. That might, and even that's not a given. Even there have been strong La Nina years and El Nino years that have not behaved like, they should. We haven't got that large of a database of study to look back on to know exactly how these things behave. So there's always anomalies. There's always those seasons where, wow, this was supposed to be a really active La Nina year. What happened? Well, that's weather. I wish I had an answer. All you can say is, that's weather. But, based on the information we have gathered over the past 100 years or so, or less than that, definitely, when we're studying El Ninos and La Ninas, really the past few decades of data that we have with those events, we can say that in general, La Nina years tend to be fairly active in the plains for severe weather with an increased risk of what we call tornado and severe weather outbreaks. Does it mean it's going to happen? No. Does it mean that over a 50-year period the odds favor it? Yes. So I think you're coming out at a good time. I think you're coming out in a good period. Better than this year, better than last year, better than the year before. Maybe something more akin to, 2010 or 11 or 2004 or some of the big years where we had a lot of active weather. 2008, 2017. Let's hope we can add that year to our list of really active years. range forecasting is a very inexact science. Heck, forecasting the weather for today is inexact. So you can imagine pushing that out to several weeks or months or even a year, how inexact it can be. So all you can do is make general statements based on past history. Alright, we have a real solid upload rate right now, and that darn Iris, man. I need to put it back on auto for most of the time. I'm lowering the Iris right now. Sorry about that. Sorry, it looked like a nuclear bomb had exploded. I got it on manual on the Iris right now, so I have to adjust it manually. Oh, here's the cemetery that Lita, my wife, is buried in. We'll take a little tour of the cemetery. I need to get some flowers out there on her grave. We don't have a headstone yet. That's not going to be delivered. God, stop, dude. Jesus Christ. What the hell's your problem? Just about got rear-ended by a motherfucker. Anyway. All right. I'm all right. Yeah. We got it ordered. It'll be delivered in late July or early August. We're having one specially made. It's going to be really nice. But she's back here by the lake, and it's real quiet and peaceful back here. We kind of wanted to get away from the road, so she's back here and kind of under a stand of trees. So she's over here on the right and under these trees. Very, very beautiful spot, I think. Very peaceful. So basically right in here. And I'll open the windows here and you can just see how peaceful and quiet it is here, and you can hear the birds. And there's not a lot of people, buried back in here. So I think she'd be very happy with this spot. What we're thinking of doing is putting some wind chimes up in the trees. And maybe a little bench out here as well. I'll go drive down by the lake. There's the lake. It's really pretty. Hey, everybody. I thank you for your kind words and everything. I just wanted to let you know that I'm shutting the stream down for the test right now, and I'll be back with everybody, soon. We're going to be streaming the chasing coming out here in the plains over the next several days, so I think you missed all of that because I had shut the stream down too quickly. I didn't take into account the delay in the stream, so just wanted to pop back in and just say thank you, and I will see everybody again real soon on the live stream. Just keep an eye out on my Facebook page, and I'll post my plans for the upcoming chase. But again, right now, tentatively planning to chase Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Should be 5 days of chasing. I might not chase Saturday, but chances are I will. But definitely Sunday through next Wednesday. So take care, everybody, and we will see you down the road real soon.